Hi guys! I know it's been a while since I last shared an update with you, and that's because I didn't have any updates really to give. There's been a significant slowdown in correspondence between myself and both my Korean mom and her brother, but I did get a response from her a couple days ago, and I was waiting to kind of see if I could figure out what it meant or get some clarity on it until I shared anything about it. So I got an email from her that said, and I could tell that it was just put into translator because it's written in English, but you can tell that it's broken. And I think it's just something very simple like Google Translate, where it's not going through a person who's able to accurately translate what's trying to be said. For something like Korean, it's really hard to use something like that and have it be totally accurate. So the email that I got: "Hi, how are you doing? Sorry for the delay in my replying. As I moved, the computer was a little bit problematic and a little bit achy. I always thank you for listening to your news. I write a little less because I don't want to hear from you. I'll call you back sooner or later. I hope you are always happy and healthy." And obviously there's error in translation because the computer part was a little confusing and weird. But it was the "I write a little less because I don't want to hear from you" thing that really threw me off. And that's where our relationship gets really difficult, because we have a really, really hard time getting our thoughts across to each other quickly and accurately because of this huge language barrier. And I asked my friend about it, if she could kind of dissect what would have possibly be said in Korean that could have been mistaken when translated to English. And she thought that, there was probably just a phrase missing, meaning it's not because I don't want to hear from you, ... And so I reached out to my Korean mom's brother. Can you help me figure out what she's actually trying to say? Obviously he's getting the same version of the broken English translation that I am, but he speaks to her on the phone a couple times a month, so obviously he has a much better idea of what's going on in her head. He responded back to me and said, obviously don't worry about it. You're not bothering me. I wish we could talk to you more. But he put it to rest like she's not saying she doesn't want to talk to you. It's just obviously lost in translation. And he said that she actually had talked to him about being concerned that her feelings weren't being translated properly to me, and she just was hoping that I wasn't missing what she was actually feeling. So that was a really, really big relief for me. To read that translation from her was really hard, and I was about 50-50 thinking that it meant what it actually said in the email, because I'm just thinking, what I already know about her is that her husband is very conservative, and this is just something you don't talk about. Nobody in her current family knows about me. So I thought maybe it's just either it was too painful for her to bring up those things and she didn't want to talk to me anymore, or her husband was getting suspicious, or she was feeling guilty about hiding something like this from her family. I was trying to hold it together and not dive into thinking that it's a letter where she's telling me that she doesn't want me anymore, which was something that I grew up thinking my whole life, was that I wasn't wanted, and then finding out pretty recently that I was and that everything was different, and then having to get that email and think, well, are we changing our minds now? But luckily that's not what it was. It's literally just awful translation going on. I would love for us to get to know each other more quickly, because we have had so much time apart from each other and there is a lot of ground to cover. There's only so much that we can do with that enormous roadblock of language being in the way. Oh, and then I found out that the computer acting achy thing was because she actually moved to a different place, so everything was kind of out of order, and I guess the computer wasn't working properly. The past couple months, I really haven't heard anything from either of them at all. I feel like I've really been putting out there the intention of trying to get to know them and then not really getting much back. And I have to step back and realize that we are so different culturally. Even though my uncle has lived in the US for years at this point, he wasn't raised here. So the way that personal issues like this are talked about is very different, in that they're not talked about at all. And then here I come, super eager to talk about it and get to the bottom of it and talk about feelings. I have to constantly remind myself, yes, one, there is the translation, there's the language factor, but two, there's also just the big cultural factor. So that is a big thing for me to adjust to. And it's not like one side is right and one side is wrong. It's just the two sides are very different. And it'll be interesting to see over the next few months how we can meet in the middle. So I'm gonna sit on this for a couple days and then think about what my next contact will be like. In my email to my Korean mom, I was trying to keep it a little bit lighter, just asking like what, if she had any hobbies, if there were any favorite movies that she had, and I asked her just about her family, like does her other daughter know what she wants to do when she graduates high school and things like that. So that might have been a little too personal, I think, for her right away. I also asked her if there was a more recent photograph of her that I could see, just because the one that I did get when we first made contact in December was so shocking because of how similar we looked. I kind of wanted to see, I mean, obviously I want to see what my mom looks like right now in 2017 if I were to be sitting across the table from her, but I also was just curious to see what will I look like when I'm in my 50s, because that's something that so many people don't understand, is the concept of not knowing who you look like and not knowing what those people look like at different points in your life. Like everybody that I know, they know what their mom looks like when they're 5. They remember what she looks like when they graduated high school or college. They know what she looks like right now. And I literally have one photo, but that's all that I have to go off of. I don't know. I don't have any other sort of insight about something so simple as what she looks like, which is very strange. She didn't send me a picture of herself yet, and she didn't answer any of my questions in this email that I thought she was breaking up with me in. But I just have to give her a little bit more time, and eventually, hopefully, those things will come out. So this was longer than I thought it would be, as usual. But that is the latest going on in my adventure. Till next time, bye.